Hi, I'm Storm.
And I'm Mike.
And we are from Advanced Groups.
We'll be talking about today's Storm.
Today we're talking about this lovely red Warden Hard Hat. So who's a warden? Who would wear this? Good
question. If you are a large organisation or corporation where you have an evacuation plan, where you have many people in a high-rise building, or just a large factory, plant, warehouse, manufacturing, anywhere where the facility is fairly large. So I guess if you are a small business, 5-10 people, you wouldn't need one of these. You wouldn't have one of these. But if you have a large sort of place with maybe 1,000 people, 500 people, then you would definitely have an evacuation plan. And then there's a lot of accessories and apparel, garments, whatever you want to call them, that are all in the family of incident response apparel. And we sell a bit of a range of the incident response apparel. And the most popular items that people would normally have in their kits would be items that we would stock would be on our website and on our shelf. And so it's really important, if you have an incident response plan, to have everything well organised. And you should, if you have an OH&S officer, you should already be aware of what these are for. You would normally do drills, some sort of training practice type drills, probably every 6 months or something, where an alarm would go off, PA would sound, everyone would get their kits and have delegated personnel who would handle different responsibilities in the case of an emergency, and these things would be well planned out. And so if you did require a hard hat with Warden written on it, then obviously that's what this is for. This one particularly just says warden. It doesn't say fire warden. So this would be a generic warden, where perhaps you might not have more than one warden. If you were a very big high-rise building or organisation, you might have an area warden, a floor warden, different fire warden, and
they'll have their own little groups too, like.
Yeah, you could have a chief warden, a deputy warden. You could have many different subcategories of warden, whereas this is just a generic warden, where it would be a smaller type organisation or corporation or something.
Do you only sell the one size? Is like one size fits all? Or?
Yeah. So this is one of the more budget hard hats. It's not lesser quality. It's literally just this part here, which is called the harness. And this harnessing is the main difference between the more expensive hard hats and the less expensive ones. This is a removable harness, so if it ever got damaged or worn out or dirty or broken or anything, you can always replace the harness by itself. And so it does have an adjustment here with some little holes, and they just sort of clip together at various whatever adjustment size that you need. Being that you wouldn't wear this more than once every 6 months, it doesn't need to be an expensive one with an expensive adjuster or anything like that. So just to keep the cost down a little bit, it's got the cheaper of the options for the harness. Yeah.
When you said there was other apparel you can wear with it, what apparel have we got that?
Yeah, so there's vests, there's tabards. Tabards are replacing the vests, just because tabard's more like a one-size-fits-all, and so that we don't have to stock every size of vest. We've been discontinuing the vests and moving towards tabards.
Are they adjustable or something? Or?
It's like a bib if you've ever played netball or back in the day, I guess it's from, I think the word might have come from the old knights in shining armour type thing, where they would wear something in their different little jousting events or something, and put a bib on. But it's back in the day, I guess it was called a tabard. So I guess that's kind of like from back then.
Yeah. Is that all? Just the hat? And
there's armbands. There's baseball type caps. This one would be sort of, I guess, ideally a construction industry. You would have a hard hat, whereas if it's just officers, it might just be a baseball cap instead. Some people would have a kit like a backpack where they would have some documentation, maybe a clipboard, a pen, a flashlight, a whistle, and a few other bits and pieces, checklists, or it's just whatever they think that they've got included in their plan, just so that in the case of an emergency, an incident or evacuation, they can just go to their wherever they keep the backpack and just grab it without having to, bundle everything together, and then they can evacuate to the evacuation point.
Yeah.
And then if they're wearing all of this apparel, they're easy to spot by emergency services, first responders, and anyone else that needs to quickly identify someone in a crowd as being of significant importance to be able to coordinate whatever evacuation emergency plan that they're conducting, whether it's a drill, whether it's a legitimate real world emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they know who's in charge and who to go to.
Yeah. So if there's 2,000 people out the front of a high-rise building, first responders get there, and they don't know who is in charge of different departments, then they could, waste valuable time talking to the wrong person or not being able to locate that person. So that's critical for first responders to be able to locate the people that they need to talk to. Might be a building manager or something like that. Different safety warden responsibilities, just so that if there's, say for example, flammables or explosives inside of the building and it's on fire or something, the first responders need to have that critical information or find the MSDS documentation or location, etc., just so that they don't send those first responders into a very dangerous, critical area.
You said they had to wear backpacks. Would they also?
They don't have to wear it, but ideally, if you have everything organised in a backpack with documentation and checklists, everyone's a bit panicked and frantic in an emergency. So if you practice your drills and you have that backpack, you could pull out your checklists just so that you go methodically through the lists that you've got your visitor register, your contractors register, the duty roster from the day, and if everyone's outside and accounted for, then they don't need to send a first responder into a potentially dangerous situation. And once you've got those checklists that you've called emergency services and you tick those boxes with your pen, then you can be sure that you've followed your protocol for your evacuation, and you haven't skipped any steps and, accidentally, could cost somebody either their life or, serious injury.
Would these people in charge have to carry, say, like a first aid kit with them for everyone who they kind of?
It's highly ideal that they would have a first aid kit in their backpack, because in the case of an emergency, obviously that's going to be important. However, you would normally have a first aid officer who would also have their own apparel, and that person might be much better equipped for that sort of thing, with not only their planning and their responsibilities of everything, but expertise on how to apply the first aid treatment. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, I don't have any. Do you have anything else?
No, not a great deal. There is a few tiny little things. It's an ABS plastic from memory, which is very strong. And it does have a sweat brow that's replaceable or washable here, removable. There is a date of manufacturer under the peak. And so different industries will dictate how long this is allowed to be from the date of manufacture before it has to be replaced. So if you're in the construction industry, I think in Australia it used to be 12 months. I'm not sure if it still is. You should probably know that if you are an OH&S person. And if this is past the date of manufacture of 12 months past the date, and that's the specification for WorkSafe or different regulatory bodies within the construction industry, then you would probably need to replace it because I guess in the old days, they can get sun damage, it can get brittle, it can already have had some impacts where it's fallen, and then if it's got already compromised by having some sort of a crack in it, then and something hits you on the head, potentially it's going to be bad. So ideally, you should know what the regulation is for your industry and replace it upon the date, whichever is specified by your industry.
Is this for this hat?
Yeah, that's an accessory. It doesn't come with it.
Yeah.
So this is an elastic chin strap. There are two things on the sides of the hard hat where this can clip onto those parts and then goes under the chin. So if it's a windy day or if you're putting your head down a lot and it's falling off, then you can buy those as an optional extra on the website or just search for them individually on the website just by typing in hard hat chin strap. It's adjustable and it's elasticized so that it can be one size fits all. I think the only thing that I haven't mentioned so far is that there are some little clip holders, receiver clips, parts built into the hard hat. They are for hard hat earmuffs. For a Warden Hard Hat, you might not need earmuffs. It would be probably rare that someone would want hard hat earmuffs. However, we do sell those separately on our website. So you can either look at related products or search for hard hat earmuffs and they just clip into here. Obviously, you can't wear normal earmuffs with a hard hat, so you have to have special earmuffs that are compatible with these hard hats to be able to clip those to there, and you can swivel them up or swivel them down onto your ears and they sort of press in on your ears so they work like normal earmuffs except specially made for these. So that's probably about it. Thanks for watching. If you want to buy these, you can buy it online from www.advancedgroup.com.au. And if you like the video and you want to see more, you can click like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.